Warm greetings to all. I am Viraj and my pilot project looks at sustainable sanitation and hygiene in informal settlements of Rajkot. We begin with the methodology. After a primary survey in sanitation sector, sustainable sanitation as a concept was understood. Then after focusing on informal settlements, the major issues were linked to sustainable sanitation. From this, the pilot project emerged, which is a two-part strategy, a decision-making tool and a prop-based game. In the end, there was an attempt to test the tool on site in Rajkot. Starting with city sanitation profile, in Rajkot, 54% sewage is safely managed. Issues from the promontory like open defecation, inaccessible toilets, and sewage entering open drain point to the need to intervene in informal settlements. Starting with understanding informal settlements. The stakeholders, tenability analysis, various projects, policies, and implementations. Swachh Bharat Abhiyan 2.0, which is the latest program looking at sanitation in Rajkot, concluding with land ownership analysis. Finally, we move to the survey points. A total of 48 households are surveyed. Survey framework consisted of a general questionnaire, specific questionnaire, and a survey about. From the survey, a set of parameters emerge. Along with WASH-specific parameters, land tenability is also looked at and a scoring mechanism is developed. With this, each informal settlement is scored out of a possible 50, and Lohanagar emerges as one of the most vulnerable informal settlements. Major issues in vulnerable areas are situation-based. Each household has a different situation. Some have access to toilet issues, whereas some have access to toilet but have design issues. If not design issues, then operation maintenance or monitoring and reporting. So a sanitation ladder of issues is proposed where a household can be ranked based on their situation, and the aim is to move up the ladder. The major issues are then linked to the five sustainable sanitation parameters to achieve the vision. The sixth parameter, proper hygiene, is further bifurcated in four different heads. Since the idea was to develop a decision-making tool, similar case studies were looked at. Presenting the pilot, Project Uchai. Why Project Uchai? It is a bottom-up approach beginning with the community. The aim is to reach the top of the ladder. The pilot will help empowering informal settlements, and finally, this will help in reaching new benchmarks of sanitation for the city of Rajkot. The pilot consists of a decision-making tool clubbed with behavior change for proper hygiene, and finally, co-creating with the community. The first part is a situation-based decision-making tool in the medium of a booklet, and the second part is a prop-based game to sensitize and inform about proper household hygiene. A diagram is prepared to sum up the structure. Starting with the decision-making tool, it is in the form of a booklet, and the booklet consists of questions that help in understanding the situation of an individual house. The booklet consists of different questions with a short answer. To sum it up in an organogram, the bottom-up approach helps in pinpointing where exactly is the issue for each household and what recommendations can be provided according to the situation. To understand the working, the booklet is tested in four households of Lohanagar, one of the most vulnerable informal settlements of Rajkot where open defecation is common. Since the area is dense, there is almost no access to toilets. The co-creation exercise helped in understanding the aspirations and problems of the community. It was executed in four easy steps: get informed, ask assistance, use the tool, and begin your journey towards Uchai. An attempt was also made to implement one of the recommendations as the socially acceptable solution by the community was a shared toilet. The recommendations for the parameters were planned. The important part of the exercise was the feedback, like can be more user-friendly as some of the respondents were unable to read and write. Moving to the second part of the pilot, stages of behavior change were studied to understand the method. For the preparation stage, props like placards were prepared representing the four heads of hygiene. For actions, each placard will be shown to a group of different stakeholders, and if they recognize it, they would be asked the significance, and if not, they would be informed about the same. The idea of the co-creation here was to create a dialogue about awareness towards proper hygiene. While many were unaware, many did not have access. For maintenance, objective, strategy, and frequency of the exercise was looked at. The implementation of the pilot is worked out. The pilot can be plugged in individual household latrine IHHL application process of MOA website. As that is a highly top-down approach, a bottom-up approach can also be introduced. The aim is to create a self-sufficient community model. Short-term, mid-term, and long-term goals of the project, along with challenges and issues, were discussed. Finally, the impact is discussed at three different levels: user, community, and city. For the user, they get to decide their toilet according to the situation. For the community, a self-sufficient model will be beneficial along with getting rid of open defecation as a practice. For the city level, the data from the pilot will be beneficial for RMC, and all these impacts will finally change the image of Rajkot as a city in terms of sanitation. Thank you.